If Little Uzi Vert retired today, never dropped a song again, is he a legend? No.
We throw that word around so crazy.
Damo, Bezos,
He's a Philly legend, but that's it.
Philly legend.
He's a legend in my books. He's not a legend in everyone's
Legend
books.
in my apple. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Because I was gonna say, because I guess my next hot take is that I think it's hard for anybody in this era of music to become a legend, in the sense that streams have f***ed up just saying numbers, right? Because we were having this conversation in the party, it was just being a little toxic or whatever. Okay, well, I demand #1 hits, I demand all these other things. There are certain situations and certain arguments where Jack Harlow would be a legend before J. Cole if you went by certain metrics. Because I think the issue was going #1. I think someone said you have to have a #1 hit to be a legend. No, you have to have been Billboard #1 to be a legend. And Cole, Loki has not done that. I think his highest one is first-person shooter with Drake.
Who said that?
One of my dumbass friends. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is, I think, but long story less long though, I think it's gonna be really hard to identify the modern rap legend when their career is all said and done. Because right now we can look at a rapper like Future, a rapper like J. Cole, Kendrick, or whatever, and be like, oh yeah, they're gonna be a legend if they're not already legends. But like when we talk about, and I'm just naming names here, 21 Savage, Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Baby. I know some of you guys are already gonna spam up tomatoes or whatever. But like those names, at some point, NBA Youngboy, at some point it's like, would they be legends when they're done? I don't know. So I'll go ahead and amend the hot take that I had. Maybe I'll save that for a later Yap Fest. Yeah, I think it's really hard to be a rap legend now, considering how numbers are.
I don't know if it has anything to do with numbers per se. I think the question, whenever somebody's asking to me, is this person a legend? My rebuttal is always going to be, tell the story. If you can tell the story without like forcing it in, because niggas love to force some shit in, then he's not a legend. And I think you could tell the story of like 2010s rap and cover it pretty well without talking about Lil Uzi.
But can you talk about?
I feel like the mumble rap, like
the 17 without Lil Uzi.
If you what? Well,
can you go to
two niggas?
My fault.
No. I just didn't. It was too.
Can't go from 2016 to 2020 without Uzi.
Yeah. Can you go from 2015 to 2017 or even 2020 without talking about Lil Uzi?
Well, that's not the way that I necessarily tell the stories, because they don't go in like 4-year peaks. I'm just thinking, but even if we did do that, yeah, I would talk about the big three, and then if we included like mumble rap, the Migos would be the mumble rap thing. So.
But I mean,
I just don't think it has to be one person.
You telling a very short story. Then you telling a paraphrase story of the 2010
big three.
If
big three is like a long story, like a long story, and then if I had to talk about like
from
the big three is a big story, right? And then if I had to bring in this next portion of it, like this additional thing, mumble rap, you might be able to, if you want. Again, I might even be forced to. You could talk about Atlanta in that conversation, I guess, a little bit. Not even a little bit, but you could talk about Atlanta in that realm if I'm talking about at the same time. But again, even Bezos mentioned the whole mumble rap thing. I definitely think that's the Migos, no questions about it. That's when like rap was in a shitstorm because people hated mumble rap, et cetera, et cetera. I think you can tell that. I'm talking about 10s to 20s. I think you can do it.
But again, I understand you're not going to just stop telling the story halfway through from 2010 to 2015 and then retell it a different way. But if you're telling a story from 2010 to 2020 about hip hop in that decade, there's no way you're not going to have to talk about, without shoehorning it in, naturally, you're going to have to talk about the impact melodic rap had in rap. And it is definitely more than just the Migos, because you will have to talk about guys like, you have to talk about a Uzi and a Young Thug, in my opinion, in that conversation. And at some point you would have to talk about a Future. I'm surprised we're not talking about Future in the 2010s.
Yeah, that's where that
Future's
that's where that Southern rap conversation would come in. And that's where you would get your melodic rap and all that other stuff. Hey Souls, man, I need your help.
What's going on?
Look, man, it's the holiday season. I'm running low on funds. I can edit a video. I can write out some analytics. Like, what can I do for you, man? What can I do?
But luckily with our sponsors at PrizePicks, you can actually win a lot of money on their app. This is our favorite way to play daily fantasy sports.
Bezos, how's that going to help me now?
With quick withdrawals, easy easy gameplay and an enormous selection of players and statistics to choose from, PrizePicks definitely has your daily fantasy sports needs covered. It's pretty easy to make lineups on PrizePicks. They have a bunch of different sports you can choose from, and then within those sports, they have a bunch of different categories. You can go to points, rebounds, assists, and if you really know what you're doing, all you gotta do is click more or less on your favorite player, and you can win a bunch of money on PrizePicks. All you gotta do is select more, select less, just make sure they're not on the same team, put in the amount you're comfortable with, and press submit lineup to submit a lineup.
Oh snap! I'm gonna be good this holiday season, and it's all thanks to PrizePicks. Shouts out to PrizePicks, man.
So my question is, are we able to just skip over, I guess, the Mumble or even SoundCloud thing? SoundCloud thing, because yeah, that'd probably be the best argument. And yes, I am playing devil's advocate here because I told my friends I don't think he'd be a legend, but I think he'd be like a street legend per se or something like that. But are we even allowed to talk about this era of music without not talking about the SoundCloud and or mumble rap era? I think that has Uzi's name all over it.
I'm sorry. And then throwing this in here, if we're talking about, again, this is another thing that I'm thinking to myself, all right, if that's where Uzi's going to get his thing, because I think you could do the mumble rap thing. I think you actually would do the mumble rap thing without Uzi. I think you would do the melodic thing without Uzi. Then you got the mumble rap, melodic, and then you got the big three. And then I think the Chicago drill thing is bigger than SoundCloud rap. For that, for what was for
else, you would tell the Chicago drill era kind of in between 2010 and 2015. That would be earlier in the decade. For real. Would it not be?
That to me, that is irrelevant in the way that I'm telling the story of hip hop. I'm thinking about when VH1, MTV used to do their I Love Those, et cetera, and it was like a decade of rap, and they're covering it like that. I'm being honest with you. It wasn't like they were pulling in all these different pockets. Now niggas are in here talking about, we can't talk about this, that, and the third, alternative rap, underground rap, et cetera. Now we're having to put all this in here. I think if we talk about the biggest themes in rap, I think we really covered them in melodic rap, right? Drill rap, mumble rap, the big three.
Give me 4 artists you will talk about in melodic rap before you mention Uzi, and then I can concede. Because my point would be, you keep saying melodic rap, that's where you would talk about a little Uzi. There's no way you can talk about melodic rap in that decade without bringing up Uzi. So who are the 4 artists that, if you're going to talk about melodic rap or you're going to give praise to that sound, who's these people?
If I put in 4, if I put in Uzi, I couldn't even give you 4. That doesn't matter to me, to be honest with you. I just know if you do melodic, my bad. I forgot the 5th thing, the rise of Atlanta in the 2010s. That would be 5 things. So in that, you would tie in that whole melodic rap. You talk about melodic rap and whatchamajig. Mind you, you could probably go, people are giving it to me, Future Drake. You would have to do Young Thug. And then that's probably where the 4th one will come in. I really don't know who the 4th one will come in, but those are those 3 right there. And if we're talking about a lot of shit going on right now, that's a lot of things. That's 5 things. In my opinion, that's a lot to cover for a whole decade. That's a big story to tell, those 5 things. That's my perspective. Y'all,
I got you. Hey, agree, disagree, bro.
Yeah,
I just don't. Where's the we're dropping in little Uzi? Where?
I agree with your overall
in?
Conclusion that he's not a legend and no shit. I do agree with that, but I wouldn't. I don't know. Like maybe it's just me and the music I listen to. Yeah, you said thug chat. Maybe it's just me and like the music I consume, but I didn't take the Chicago drill per se as a big enough movement. Not saying that it's not in the 5 or anything like that, but I definitely think it was a level to it in terms of either SoundCloud or Mumble. If you include them both, that's fine. And then I definitely think melodic is up there as well, but I definitely thought it was like those 3 and then a gap into the other 2.
I think my argument for drill would be, if we're talking about shaping like the decade, the culture, and all that stuff like that. This is also something that spilled over into politics and was shaping how people like on the Senate floor were speaking about black music and all this. I mean, literally these right-wing pundits, whenever they talk about rap, for in that span of time, even today, that's what they're still talking about, drill rap and its effects on black communities and all that other stuff. I think that has like a cultural thing, kind of like booty shaking music in the early 2000s. Granted, it was booty shaking music was big. It wasn't the biggest thing, but when they were on CNN talking about black women degrading themselves, it was like, oh shit, this is a big deal for when we talk about era defining things.
I get it. Comment below. That was not my original hot take, but that will do.